My name is Marin Cole. I'm 32 years old. I confirmed that last week when I pulled up my driver's license record online to renew it, staring at the birth date that always reminds me how time flies. But right now, none of that mattered as I stood in the crowded room at my sister's birthday party in Dallas, Texas. The music was pumping and everyone was chatting, but I froze when Nola, my sister, took the microphone to show off her new fashion line. She unveiled sketches on a big screen designs for a collection of urban streetwear with unique patterns I'd spent months creating in my freelance gig. Check out my latest ideas, she said, grinning at the crowd. These are going to revolutionize casual wear. The applause hit and my stomach dropped. Those were my patterns, my color schemes, everything I'd shared with her in confidence last month when she asked for inspiration. I'd emailed her the files thinking it was just sisterly advice. I confronted her right there, pulling her aside. Nola, those are mine. What are you doing? She laughed it off. Relax, Marin. I tweaked them a bit. It's not a big deal. But it was. She'd launched her startup using my work, and our parents were beaming, clapping louder than anyone. My father said, "Proud of you, kiddo," right to her while my mother nodded along. They didn't even glance my way when I tried to speak up. Quinn Diaz, my best friend since college, was there too, and she avoided my eyes. Later, I found out she'd helped Nola access my cloud drive. The betrayal stung deep. I'd trusted them both. That night, I left early, my mind racing. This wasn't just theft. It was family turning on me for her gain. If this story hits home for you, share your own experience in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the rest of what happened next. I drove straight home that night, my hands gripping the wheel tight. First thing, I logged into my cloud account to check the access history. Sure enough, there were logins from an IP I didn't recognize, timed right after I'd shared the files with my sister. I dug deeper and saw Quinn's device linked in. She'd been the one to forward everything. I called her immediately. Quinn, explain this, I demanded. She stuttered. Marin, it was just helping Nola out. She said you wouldn't mind. I hung up, blocking her number. That twist hit hard. My best friend had sold me out for whatever favor my sister promised. Next, I reviewed old emails and texts from family. Growing up, my parents always favored her, giving her the bigger allowance, the better room, even paying for her college, while telling me to bootstrap mine. I remembered one dinner where my father said, "Nola's the star here," dismissing my freelance wins. But now a bigger secret surfaced as I scanned bank statements. They'd transferred funds from a joint account, meant for both of us, straight to her startup. It was fraud, plain and simple, hidden under family support. I decided to confront my parents first. I texted them, "We need to talk about Nola's designs." My mother called back quick. "Honey, what's wrong?" She asked, her voice all innocent. I laid it out. "Those are my ideas she stole, and you funded it with our money." She paused, then said, "We thought it was collaborative. Nola needs the push." My father jumped on the line. "Don't make a fuss, kid. It's business." Their denial fueled me. This wasn't just theft. It was a pattern of betrayal rooted in their bias. That's when I reached out to Reese Espinoza, my colleague at the design firm. "Reese, I need advice on intellectual property theft," I said over coffee the next day. He nodded. "Let's document everything. We can build a case." He helped me pull timestamps and originals, turning my anger into a plan. But the real twist came when he spotted altered metadata. My sister had tried to backdate her files to claim ownership first. By midweek, I had enough evidence to consult a lawyer. She reviewed it and said, "This qualifies as fraud under Texas law. We can file for an injunction." I felt the shift, no more playing victim. My family had crossed a line, and I was ready to push back hard. I scheduled the family dinner for that Friday, texting my parents that it was urgent. Reese had prepped me with printed timelines and legal notes, so I arrived armed with a folder. We sat down at their kitchen table in Dallas, and I wasted no time. "We have to address what my sister did with my designs." I started sliding the evidence across. My mother glanced at it and sighed. Sweetie, let's not blow this up. My father added, family shares ideas. It's no biggie. But I pressed on, showing the logins and backdated files. This is theft, and you funded it from our joint account without asking. My sister showed up late, smirking as she joined. What's this about? She asked, grabbing a plate. I confronted her directly. You stole my work and altered dates to cover it. Explain. She rolled her eyes. You're overreacting. I improved them. Then the twist dropped. My father admitted. We knew she borrowed some concepts, but it was for the greater good. Her startup could benefit us all. My mother nodded. We signed a quiet agreement to invest more if it took off. Their confession stunned me. They'd been in on it from the start, prioritizing her success over fairness. The argument escalated fast. I slammed the folder down. This is fraud, and I'm filing a lawsuit under intellectual property laws. My sister laughed. Good luck proving it, sis. Mom and Dad will back me. My father stood up. Enough. If you sue, you're out of this family. My mother chimed in. Think about what you're doing to us. I fired back. What about what you did to me? Years of favoritism, and now this betrayal. Voices rose, with my sister yelling, You're just jealous because I'm making it big. I gathered my papers amid the chaos. I'm done here, I said, heading for the door. My father blocked the way briefly. Sit down and apologize. But I pushed past. No, you all crossed the line. Outside, I called Reese immediately. It went bad, I told him. They admitted everything, he replied. That's gold for our case. We'll move for an injunction Monday. His support kept me focused on the next steps. Over the weekend, messages flooded in from my parents. Come back and talk. My mother pleaded in a voicemail. My sister texted, Drop this or regret it. I ignored them instead, reviewing the lawyer's draft complaint. Reese met me Sunday to refine it, pointing out how their admissions strengthened our fraud claim. Under Texas statutes, this could lead to damages, he explained. We added clauses for restitution on the joint funds. By Monday, the lawyer filed the papers, serving notice to my sister and parents. Their reactions came quick, frantic calls I let go to voicemail. My father left one saying, This tears us apart, kiddo. But I stayed firm, knowing the court would handle the rest. With the lawsuit filed, I focused on the court's initial hearing set for 2 weeks later. My lawyer emailed updates daily outlining how we'd present the timestamps and admissions as evidence of intentional theft. Reese joined the prep sessions via video call, suggesting we subpoena bank records to trace the joint account misuse. This bolsters the fraud angle, he said. I nodded. Let's lock it down. Meanwhile, my parents kept calling, but I screened them, only listening to voicemails where my mother begged, Drop this, honey, we can settle privately. My sister emailed threats. You'll ruin everything if you push. I forwarded those to the lawyer, turning their pressure into more ammo for our case under harassment claims. Then a new twist emerged when the bank subpoena returned. My parents had used my credit history to co-sign loans for my sister's business, without my consent, forging my signature on one form. The documents showed dates matching her launch. I called the lawyer right away. This is identity theft, she confirmed. We can amend the complaint to include civil damages. Reese reviewed the scans and added, File a police report too, it's a felony in Texas. I did exactly that, submitting the evidence to local authorities for an investigation which froze her accounts temporarily. That sealed my decision to leave Dallas. I packed essentials into my mid-sized sedan and drove to New York the next day, where a contact from my freelance network offered a temp gig at a boutique firm. Reese connected me with local designers, and I started sketching fresh lines incorporating elements I'd held back before. Build your own brand, he advised over the phone. Make it untouchable. I registered a LLC under my name, securing trademarks for new patterns to prevent copycats. In New York, I rented a small studio and dove into production, sourcing fabrics and partnering with manufacturers. The lawyer updated me on the case progression, noting my sister's attempt to countersue for defamation, but our evidence shut it down quick. The judge dismissed her motion, she reported. Reese flew in for a weekend to help pitch my designs to investors landing seed funding from a venture group impressed by my portfolio. As the hearing approached, my family escalated with a mediation offer. My father texted, "Meet halfway kid will repay the funds." I declined through the lawyer who countered with a demand for full restitution plus penalties. The twist deepened when police notified me of charges filed against my sister for the forgery based on the report. "This changes everything," Reese said. "She's on the defensive now." I pushed forward with my brand launch, hosting a pop-up event that drew local buyers. Sales hit early targets, and I hired a small team. The lawyer prepped for trial, emphasizing how their actions violated state fraud statutes. My sister's business stalled under the freeze, and she called once, "Back off, or I'll drag you down too." I hung up, channeling the energy into expanding my line. The hearing kicked off in Dallas via remote link from New York, with the judge reviewing our submissions. My lawyer led with the timestamps and forgery proofs, arguing for summary judgment on the fraud counts. My sister's attorney tried to downplay it, claiming family collaboration, but the evidence overwhelmed them. Reese testified remotely as an expert, detailing the metadata manipulation. "These changes were deliberate," he stated. The judge granted our injunction, halting her operations and ordering a full audit. My parents appeared as witnesses for her, but under cross-exam, my mother slipped. "We just wanted her to succeed." That admission sealed more points in our favor. Right after my sister attempted a desperate move, she contacted Reese anonymously, offering cash to retract his statement. "Name your price," the email read. He forwarded it to us immediately. "This is witness tampering," my lawyer said. We reported it to the court, adding criminal contempt charges under federal rules. The twist unfolded when the audit revealed my parents had diverted inheritance funds from a late aunt's estate to her startup without notifying other heirs. "This exposes broader embezzlement," Reese noted during our call. I pushed the lawyer to expand the suit, including claims for breach of fiduciary duty. With her business frozen, my sister started losing partners. I monitored it through public filings, seeing her file for extensions on loans. My brand, meanwhile, gained traction, with a major retailer deal boosting revenue to 7 figures in months. Reese visited to celebrate. "Your line's blowing up, use this momentum." We strategized a public post on professional networks, sharing anonymized case details to warn designers about IP theft without naming names to stay legal. The family drama peaked when my father showed up unannounced at my New York office. "We need to end this," he demanded in the lobby. I met him briefly. "Pay what's owed or face the consequences." He revealed another secret. "Your mother pushed for the loans because Nola promised shares for our retirement." Their greed exposed, I walked away, instructing security to escort him out. As trial loomed, police upgraded the forgery investigation to include my parents as accessories. My sister called in panic. "Marin, call it off, we're family." I replied, "Family doesn't steal and lie." She hung up sobbing, but I forwarded the recording to the lawyer for leverage. Reese helped draft a settlement demand for full compensation plus punitive damages, citing Texas Civil Code. My pop-up events expanded nationwide, drawing media buzz for original designs. The lawyer confirmed the court leaned our way, scheduling a ruling soon. My sister's desperate emails begged for mercy. "I'll shut down if you win." I ignored them, focusing on hiring more staff to scale production. The court ruling came down 2 months later, awarding me full damages of $200,000 plus control over the disputed designs. The judge cited clear evidence of fraud and identity theft, imposing fines on my sister under Texas penalties. My lawyer called right away. "We won big, her startup's assets are up for liquidation to cover it." Reese texted, "Congratulations. Time to acquire what you can." I moved fast, bidding on her inventory through a proxy at the auction, securing it at a fraction of value to integrate into my line. Sales surged as buyers flocked to my authentic collections, pushing annual revenue past $5 million. My family reacted with desperation. My mother flew to New York uninvited, showing up at my studio with tears. Please drop the fines, she pleaded in the waiting area. I faced her coldly. You enabled this, now deal with it. Then the twist hit. During her visit, she confessed my father had hidden debts from shady investments tied to my sister's loans, risking their home. We thought she'd bail us out, she admitted. I recorded it discreetly for potential leverage, then said, "That's your mess, not mine." Security removed her as she begged, "We're family, have mercy." With the win secured, I blocked all their numbers and emails permanently. Reese helped set up enhanced security on my accounts, including two-factor authentication to block hacks. My brand expanded with a flagship store opening in Manhattan, drawing celebrity endorsements. The lawyer wrapped up enforcement, transferring funds directly to my account. My sister's operation shuttered completely, filing for bankruptcy, as partners sued her for misrepresentation. The final cut came when my father emailed through a new address. "Sell us back the inventory cheap, we're losing everything." I forwarded it to the lawyer, who advised ignoring it to avoid conflict of interest. Instead, I donated surplus items to charity, publicly announcing it on social media as a gesture to support emerging designers. My sister responded with a public rant online accusing me of sabotage, but it backfired when users sided with my verified story. As my team grew to 20 employees, Reese became a key advisor, co-hosting strategy sessions. The victory felt complete when the police closed their case, referring it for prosecution without my further involvement. My parents' last attempt was a letter via mail offering reconciliation if I dropped appeals. I shredded it unread, focusing on scaling production for international markets. The prosecution wrapped up 6 months later, with my sister pleading guilty to reduced charges of forgery and tampering to avoid jail time. The court ordered her to pay additional restitution of $150,000 sourced from selling her personal assets. Reese analyzed the public records and spotted an opportunity. Her warehouse lease is defaulting, bid on it. I did, acquiring the space through my company at auction, converting it into a distribution hub for my expanding operations. Revenue climbed to $10 million quarterly as partnerships rolled in from European markets, solidifying my brand's global footprint. My parents made one last push, hiring a mediator to propose a family settlement conference. They arrived in New York with my sister in tow, sitting across from me in a neutral office. My father started, "Let's bury the hatchet. We'll sign over the old family property if you forgive the debts." My mother added, "We've learned our lesson, sweetie." But the twist surfaced during talks. The mediator uncovered they'd used my old tax returns to secure another loan in my name, post forgery, violating probation terms. "This is new fraud," my lawyer interjected, halting the session. I stood up immediately. "No deal. This proves you haven't changed." My sister snapped, "You're destroying us on purpose." I countered, "You destroyed trust first." The mediator ended it there, and I instructed my team to report the violation to authorities, leading to extended probation for them all. Back at headquarters, Reese reviewed the fallout. Their credits tanked, no more schemes. I nodded, authorizing a press release on industry sites about protecting creative rights, crediting anonymous sources to keep it clean. With everything resolved, I dissolved any remaining joint ties through legal filings, ensuring no future claims. My company hit a valuation milestone of $500 million following a successful funding round, attracting top talent. Reese took on a full-time role as COO, streamlining exports. The family went silent after the probation extension, their attempts fizzling into irrelevance. That chapter closed for good when I received a final anonymous tip about their relocation to avoid creditors. I ignored it, instead hosting a team retreat to celebrate milestones. Looking back, their betrayal taught me one key lesson: greed erodes family bonds faster than anything. If you're facing similar issues, stand firm and seek justice early. Thanks for following my story. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and turn on notifications for more real life tales.